Okay, number 10, public comment.
Okay, thank you. So I'm here again this evening regarding the lawsuit against us from the Brooklyn Fire District and the East Brooklyn Fire Department. Since I have yet to see any action whatsoever on the items we had requested of the board, I decided to switch things up tonight and open with some facts of my own instead. I want to share a little bit more about Matt and I, since I'm not sure all three of you know about our lives prior to popping up as the ice cream people who are getting sued by the fire department. Matt and I both took a non-traditional route in our secondary education. We both entered the workforce right after high school and spent a decade plus working full-time while attending college part-time. I worked for 13 years as a secretary for the state's attorney for the Judicial District of Wyndham. During that time, I performed legal research and assisted in voluminous legal trials, managed a team of 20 plus attorneys. In addition to my on-the-job training, I earned multiple certificates and attended hours and hours of training provided by the state of Connecticut. Matt originally went to school to be an APRN while working at L&M and touring as a musician. And then he became a small business advisor for the CT-SBDC, who provided him with years of state and government training. He held that position for over 7 years, until last year when we opened Pseudo and he joined me in full-time self-employment. The reason I bring up our personal history is to highlight that we did not arrive to this point via the turnip truck. Both Matt and I have a lengthy work history with government agencies which provided us training in proper research methods, data collection, critical thinking, and provided us with a strong set of legal ethics. We already had the moral ethics ourselves. Working professional jobs while raising children and attending college taught us how to persevere through hard times and push forward and finish a challenge, how to multitask, and on and on. All assets which have helped us through our current lawsuit battle. During my time at the Wyndham State's Attorney's Office, I had the privilege of working directly with two strong female state's attorneys who taught me so much about seeking justice. They taught me about not giving up when your gut tells you there's more truth out there. They taught me how to navigate a world where old white men hold the majority of the power, and some of them try and twist the truth to their benefit. For me, especially after these last few years, your word means nothing, next to nothing, and evidence means everything. Tonight, I brought my evidence here with me. We cannot expect everyone to have the training that Matt and I were fortunate enough to have. We don't expect Austin to believe everything we say and to just side with us. But you know who does have that training and more experience than Matt and I? The town attorney. Part of my plea again tonight is to really, truly get the town attorneys involved in this. You need to contact the attorney as soon as possible. Let the people who are trained to deal with this get heavily involved. For some reason, the wait and see plan has been the route chosen to date. The bragging about how little the suit has cost the town so far is also being presented as a positive. Let me tell you here tonight that the wait and see method is not a defense. It is lazy and dangerous and a shame to the taxpayers who have elected you to act. It is our understanding that new members of the East Brooklyn Fire Department have a tentative meeting set with Selectman Tanner for tomorrow. If that's true, I would again plead with all parties to do whatever they can to control the reckless actions of the Brooklyn Fire District board members. Again, there's a difference. The new fire department members are going up against the district members, director members. I promised I would give those members a little more time to work with the selectmen before executing the next step in our plan. But if no action towards the Brooklyn Fire District is announced by Monday, we plan to mail out a letter to all 277 Brooklyn taxpayers who fund the $69,566 additional Brooklyn fire tax annually. Within that mailing, we will be sharing the documents and details that we have uncovered during our defense research, most of which we have shared here with this board during previous meetings. In addition to sharing our information, we'll be asking the residents to take the steps they are legally allowed to in order to dissolve the Brooklyn Fire District. I will leave you tonight with not the aged action items that remain unfinished. I've already beaten those requests to death with no response. Tonight, I'm begging for some sort of public acknowledgement from this board of the work you are doing to end this. I know that you three discussed last week or last month in executive session, but nothing ever been said on the record for the public. Not even, we get it, Jen, this sucks. We called the town attorney on blank date. This is the next step. Anything. no matter how vague it might be, something to show the public there is any action being taken. I do have a few attachments in this packet today for public record. The first is the Town of Brooklyn Fire Ordinance. The section pertaining to fire zones is section 11-2, and it is 2 short paragraphs long. And it states in part, no person may park a vehicle or remain stationary in an area that is clearly marked a no parking fire zone. There's no ordinance established at this moment for a fire lane to be legally designated in the town of Brooklyn. In contrast, I have also submitted the Town of Killingly Code of Fire Ordinances. Their section is 10-21, and it is over 10 long paragraphs long, and it includes details on how to establish fire lanes, the purpose of a fire lane, the definition of a fire lane, etc. Using the Town of Killingly's fire ordinance as an example of how things could be here, I'm asking that the board review their process and compare it to ours and make much needed updates immediately. If the sword that Austin is willing to fall on that the fire marshal thought that he designated the fire lane on the easement, and I counter that I thought I picked my kids up from school today. I thought I stopped at that stop sign, officer. Thoughts in legal matters don't mean anything. Without a procedure to designate a fire lane and without written proof that it happened, Doug Kramer's thoughts mean nothing, and they have caused nothing but headache and heartache. Yesterday, we submitted additional documentation to the Attorney General for our ongoing complaint against the Brooklyn Fire District. Today, we filed a FOIA commission complaint about the unanswered request from our October 31st plea for the Brooklyn Fire District and the town of Brooklyn to release public meeting minutes. We also have active complaints with the Auditor of Public Accounts, who has referred us to the FBI to file a municipal corruption complaint. If Austin is unwilling to take immediate action, I'm calling on you, Lou and Joe, to step up. Further delays are not making anything go away. It is not making a single thing better. It is making it much, much worse. And inaction is only allowing our alleged criminal activities in the town to go unchecked. I'm not exactly sure how to wrap up tonight's statement, especially that I did say I was ending it a page or so ago, but I want to hear a public comment from the board tonight, and I want to see some sort of action before we proceed with our bulk mailing. If the desire to see the Brooklyn taxpaying residents dissolve the district and an unchecked political power, we cannot let this happen again. Please do not let whatever misgivings are going on down at 15 South Main Street tarnish the legacy of this board. Their bad actions are not a reflection on you. Inaction to controlling their behavior, however, is. I'm asking that this entire public statement, along with 10 pages of attachments, be added into the meeting minutes for tonight. And I just want to say I really appreciate a meeting coming up in January, but it blows my mind that we don't have like constant discussions going on with the attorney. Like, I don't even know if our lawyer has heard from the attorney with the town. They're now working with a new fire department lawyer. We don't hear boo from McCoy, who's at the district. Like, we've got to start getting the lawyers talking so that we can get this done. Like, this shouldn't be this is what I do all the time. And I can't do it much longer. And I really, really, really hope that you'll consider action with the town attorney. There's 2 now. I guess somebody else filed again from Selectman Shapiro on Monday.
The town attorney.
Yeah. So we have the town insurance attorney, the town other attorney again. There's just too many attorneys. Now the fire department has their own attorney. The district has their own attorney. We've had our attorney that we've had. Like, I don't know what to do other than that. So that's my speech for the evening. And I just hope that at some point, if it's not tonight, I just hope that at some meeting, something is said where the public can hear it. I know we talk, Austin. I know you always somehow still pick up the phone when we call. You're better than me that I would be like, oh my God, they're calling me again. But it feels like there needs to be some sort of just a simple comment that said, we're trying to end this. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Just a couple of quick comments. I did talk to the attorney. He told me to file something, and I guess he did.
Well, an appearance.
whatever.
Was filed.
I don't understand all legal language we don't. And, I'm not meeting with the companies on Tuesday.
Oh, you're not meeting with the,
Who said Friday?
okay, yeah, the last I heard it was Friday, but he did say it was tentative. Or when that is. So.
We are trying. I know it doesn't seem like it because it's getting dragged out. Been dragged out for a long time.
The district really needs to go away. I mean, it's a double taxation for the people that live in it. Which why people haven't complained prior to this. I know there's been talk about it for years. But it just kind of.
And I don't.
Just accept it and pay their taxes every year.
I'm really surprised, especially because circumstances that nobody from tax district is. You know, we town people complain about the taxes, but these are people are directly paying people with taxes, and nobody said anything.
Well, the problem is the district has always been basically run by members of the fire department. If you look at past meetings, then everyone that's in attendance at the district meeting is a member of the fire department.
So
Of
there.
course, that's changed now because there's a lot of.
Am I allowed? Sorry, I don't know if I heard that. Well, I mean, there's two options to dissolve the district. Either the district residents can call for a vote, but they have to go to a meeting, which it's nearly impossible to figure out when their meetings are.
Yeah.
Because they're not on a website or anything like the town meetings. And the other way is the selectmen can, by a vote, and I don't have the statute with me, but I know Matt's given it a couple of times. A state statute, the town can dissolve it with a vote.
May I interject?
Oh, yes, Matt. Yes, hi.
Hi. If it's okay, am I allowed to speak?
You're
Yep.
public.
Thank you. So yeah, the town can actually add the question of dissolving the district through the consolidation of government general statute. And the town would have to put this as a question to the town meeting, which is coming up, I believe. And by 2/3 vote, we could agree to consolidate governments through this general statute. And then the town clerk would be basically, if the vote succeeded, the clerk would have to send a certified letter to the clerk of the fire district saying that we would like to consolidate our governments, and they would have 30 days to either approve or deny that request. And that would trigger all of the legal issues of what do we do now if they do approve it, you know, what happens to assets and whatnot. I've read the statute pretty thoroughly, and I think that it would behoove this board to, if they are willing to look at that strategy, contact an attorney and talk about that statute, because it's literally designed to dissolve little special taxing districts that have riddled Connecticut with problems for many years.
And that is something that's happening more frequently across the state. We've talked to Pat Boyd about it. They are disappearing one by one because they're in this weird bubble where they're not under the same scrutiny as even town governments. Their budget doesn't, I mean, the tax money that they get from us, the $106,000 that they get from the town, that is itemized and everything, but there's so little oversight over not just them, it's across the board, across the state. So it's a dangerous kind of little thing that is very old school. That's just kind of, I mean, it might still be working in some other towns, but if it's not working here, obviously, our lawsuit aside, I think that, you know, talking with the new members and stuff, they just want to perform fire service and be an asset to the community, which I know they can be. I mean, I've already seen pictures of their new group minus a few people, and they look happier already. And I want that for them, and I want it for us, hopefully soon too.
just for the record, the general statute that I'm quoting is Connecticut General Statute 7-195, consolidation of governments.
And we had a fire district in Brooklyn Center, which was
Yeah.
resolved about, probably 20 years ago now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that ended up just being a street fight district, and the town took over the street fights, and we just picked up the tab for that. I think East Brooklyn still paying for, do they pay your water bill for?
I think it's water and street light.
So, I'm sure it's in there.
Yes, I hope so.
Isn't the other problem if you tried to get the district to, the people who live in the district to meet and get a 2/3 vote to dissolve the district? A lot of the people who live in the district rent, and it would require I guess, the building owners to come. I don't know how you would even do it. The renters don't even.
I don't think they charge.
I think it's just the people who are at the meeting. It's not like 2/3 of everyone has to show up.
Okay.
It's just like, say if we're the district members who showed up that day, 2/3 of us who appear at the meeting. That's our understanding.
Okay.
That's how we read it. Not like of those 277, you have to make contact. Because there were a lot of property companies. I was shocked at how many people their mailing addresses are nowhere near here.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
You know, I saw some names and I'm like, oh my goodness, the person is still alive. Like that sounds really bad, but they don't pay attention. They don't see Facebook. I can guarantee you that a lot of them don't know this is going on. And if that would be helpful to the town, we will do that bulk mailing. I really don't want to have to get to that point. I would love for the town to take some action on that. But if that's part of our process, then that's what it is.
Why don't you at least hold up until Austin has a meeting?
Okay.
Any more public comment? If not, or to adjourn this motion. So moved.
I'm not going to second that yet. I think there's some discussion that needs to happen.
Okay.
We just heard a couple of threats. A corruption case? Really?
I don't know what corruption we're talking about.
Yeah,
Why don't you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we have been working with the auditors of public accounts who believe that there is municipal corruption in the town. And that's not
Specifically where?
specifically with the fire department. I mean, we still don't have their mortgage documents,
And you probably will, because it was a privately financed transaction.
which is illegal.
That's not necessarily true.
Mhm.
If it were if it were financed within the district,
But it's not.
it's not.
Mhm.
Okay, that ordinance that you shared as part of your thing, if I read it, my interpretation was that we could publicly finance a portion of that firehouse. It doesn't say we have to.
Mhm. Well, I guess that'll be up for the lawyers, but go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, so according to the actual the bond rule that's part of the Brooklyn Town Code, it actually elaborates on that, and it says that any bonding issued for the purchase or building of a property by the district needs to also be in compliance with all municipality bonding rules, and there's nothing that says anything about private financing. So if it was privately financed, that definitely is against the law.
Definitely.
I'm not an attorney, but according to the Brooklyn Town Code.
Exactly. You're misinterpreting it.
But shouldn't it still be on file? Shouldn't whoever financed it be?
That's a risk that whoever provided the financing
Mhm.
would take. A mortgage is a security for the lender, not for the borrower. So if the lender decided not to put a mortgage on that building as protection for their loan,
Yeah.
there's nothing illegal about that.
Okay, well, I have, months ago, we've shared the document or told Austin that we had been in contact with the auditors of public accounts who referred us to the FBI. I'm more than willing to share that email from the auditors of public accounts with their findings. We've gone through this process. We've been working on it since February, and it's not just about the mortgage. It's about the former first selectman. It's about the planning and zoning commission and their relationship with the fire department and building permits getting pulled on the day of a squabble with the fire department and the resident trooper coming and threatening to arrest us all on the same day. It's a whole thing. And again, that's part of the lawsuit, but that's knowledge that people have had and it's not new. I might have said it for the first time on public record, but it is not news to everyone in this room. And it is 100% something that needs to be dealt with immediately. And that's why I just can't fathom why the town attorney isn't more involved in this. And I just keep having private conversations with people. So I think it needs to go on the record because it needs to be addressed.
So is this board admitting that there's a strong potential that somebody privately financed the purchase of a building with taxpayer money?
Despite it, it's not taxpayer money. I'm confused.
The district is a municipal taxing district, and that's taxpayer money.
It's not their own, the firefighters' own money. It's the tax money, whether it came from the fire district or the town money.
Fire district decided to borrow funds, it would be up to the fire district and their decision making.
But they have to follow the rules of any municipality in the state of Connecticut. It says it in the general statutes. And if the town of Brooklyn wanted to go borrow money, you can't borrow money from a private citizen. That's against the law. So a municipal taxing district has to follow the same rules as the town.
We borrow money from banks all the time.
You have bonding and you have securities rules.
But we also have had lines of credit with local banks.
And part of those rules are reporting, right? So everybody knows it's public information that we're able to find out who's actually holding that note, who's profiting off that, because banks are profiting off of dollars that you're borrowing, correct? So it's our right to know as citizens who profited off of taxpayer money that bought that building that's probably going to end up a town building. Especially if
the district were dissolved, then someone would have to purchase that.
No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. The town would actually absorb any assets per the law. The town would absorb any assets or liabilities from the district that is within its confines.
So why would a town and taxpayers vote to dissolve the district and absorb assets and liabilities and maintenance of a building and maintenance of equipment when they don't have to do that?
They don't have to pay for the maintenance of the equipment. That's under the fire budget. The department budget, like we're getting kind of down a rabbit hole. The main issue
we really are, because I think there's
the main issue here is that we're alleging that the district, which is a municipal taxing district, which needs to adhere to every rule and regulation that the municipality of Brooklyn, I'm going to put air quotes up there, you can't see me, but they need to adhere to all the same rules and guidelines, because think of them as a miniature town within a town. Okay. They're a body politic within inside of a town. Okay. I've read all of these statutes 1,000 times, and they need to adhere to the same rules and regulations as a town. So they messed up, and yeah, the town has to deal with that now 20 years later, but it's not my fault.
But your public corruption allegation is against the fire district or the town of Brooklyn?
I didn't make a public corruption allegation. That was suggested to us from the auditors of public accounts, who is the actual person that any municipal taxing districts, the organizational chart goes taxing district and then up to APA and then to OPM, right? The problem is that we put in a complaint to APA and they don't fall under the Municipal Audit Act because we wanted to find money, right? So the Municipal Auditing Act requires any municipality that brings in revenues of $1 million or more annually that they are now bound by law to be able to be audited. Unfortunately, in the state of Connecticut, any municipality bringing in less than $1 million annually is exempt from any of those audits. So the APA referred us to 8 different places, and the FBI was one of them. And we can share the emails with you. I believe we have, actually.
So they shared or referred you to the FBI, but then somehow, because the FBI's name was dropped, that somehow there's, a public corruption case that needs to get brought against the town of Brooklyn?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, it's not just the town of Brooklyn. It's there. If you've read the entire docket of our case, you can read all of the things that have happened.
I've read a lot of them.
Well, read all of it. I encourage you. And read the first one too, because the first case where they sued us, number one, they didn't even understand the law. They sued us with a wrong address and a wrong name on the deed. And
their own wrong address and wrong name, not ours.
Yeah, they don't even have a correct address on their deed. These are all facts that we've found through this. And again, we're not making any allegations. These are things that were brought to our attention by state agencies.
Right, but you all said it.
Well, we're just stating what was said to us.
Right, you're repeating it, but by repeating it, it's sounding like a threat.
There's no threat here. I mean, we're a defendant in a lawsuit that a municipal agency of the town is suing us.
We're the same defendant. We're in the same canoe.
Well, I wouldn't say that because we are a private business and don't have unlimited funding.
I looked for that first lawsuit. I couldn't find it.
You have to request it because it's offline now because it's been too much time.
I can email you all copies of them.
What was the date of that first lawsuit?
April of 20, I think. 21. I mean, the fact of the matter is that this is not a case that happens regularly. Municipalities don't sue private businesses over property rights where it's unclear if they even have the legal right to own that property.
That's speculation.
No, it's not speculation. It's in the Brooklyn Town Code.
Copies, but also can email copies.
Furthermore, the Brooklyn Town Code and the state act that established the fire district, and then the state act that established the opportunity for the Brooklyn Fire District to issue bonds to build, says that they're only allowed to issue bonds and purchase for the building of a property inside said district. So why is a fire district owning a property outside the confines of the district? Tell me that.
I don't know, but the building was certainly a bargain at the time. But
okay.
At the time, did we issue bonds to finance it?
But that's not a good answer, though.
What do you mean it's not a good answer?
It's not a good. It was a bargain. Come on.
It was available.
Okay, that's still not a good answer.
It was available at a price that made sense so that they could vacate the property on South Street and relocate to someplace that was larger and could accommodate their services.
Even though there was no study done with traffic, with safety, with accommodation.
You're
Come on.
talking about a rabbit hole then. Okay? We're not
We
gonna-
live in a rabbit hole.
Right. Okay, so this lawsuit.
Yeah.
This is the first lawsuit.
Yeah,
Okay, and before you label the anti-business, I hope you succeed. I hope you make all the money you need to make.
I haven't
so you can
labeled
take
you.
the
We're not
lawsuit,
doing anything. We're having a discussion.
Okay? So that original lawsuit was 2021. When was your first legal letter to the East Brooklyn Fire Company?
well before that,
Right,
because they
Threatened us.
the attorney threatened us. They had attorney Kate Cerrone, and we had attorney Christian Sarantopoulos at the time. This has been going on since 2020.
They ended up, Kate Cerrone ended up quitting because she told them that they were wrong, and they hired attorney McCoy after Kate Cerrone quit.
I think that unless you need me, I'm going to be done tonight, because to come here and ask for help against these like psychos, and then now I just don't even know.
So
If you, the words of "we want you to succeed, we want you to help" mean nothing, because your face right now is like, I did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. They're stealing money from the, oh my God. All of their budgets, all of these are wrong. Every finance department meeting, not before Sandy, it's like, get me more detail, get me more detail. Oh, the next month, you didn't get me more detail. Okay, get me the next detail next month. Like, you have to know reasonably that they're blowing money left and right over there, and no one does anything about it. And now it's like, oh, now you've made a threat against me.
yeah, come on. This is ridiculous.
What else do you need from me tonight before I go?
I don't need anything from you. You made a public comment, and I just wanted to discuss
Yeah.
a response. Because I just don't think it's appropriate for us to be bargaining here.
I'm not bargaining anything. I'm telling you what our research has found and what auditors for the state of Connecticut have flagged as a problem that they wish that they could like get involved in, but they can't because of what? Because they fall under the financial like threshold of what they're allowed to do. It's like too small of amount of money, but it's a big deal to a town. And that part makes no sense to me. But I will certainly share the email from them word for word that said, oh my God, this is something. Here's the people that can help you figure out what it is. And the fact that it is being spun into anything other than that is, you know. Do you two have anything else for me? Okay.
Any other action items there?
What's that?
Yeah, motion to adjourn is on the table,
So,
right? Sure. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? There.
Are you all gonna move to eliminate the fire district?
It's still on. Do you want to talk or do you want to talk?
Another meeting.
It is on the meeting.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna,
Well, this is well, it is. Three of us are here. So, right here, the discussion.
Rick, yeah, and Bob, yeah, the three of us. Yeah,